Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nuge. And, in a very somber tone, Ted, I bring this topic up because it just breaks my heart. Everyone has seen in the news the gay couple, the two men that were allowed to adopt two little boys, that they've been charged with prostituting those little boys, to sexually abusing those little boys, to posting pictures of that abuse online for profit. And that made me think, as our society as a whole, with these transgender drag queen events at libraries and bringing kids and these adult woke humans clapping and cheering and giving their kids dollar bills. We've got the liberal left that's encouraging the sex change as permanent, and drugs and surgery. And it's just, I'm heartbroken with all of this. But let's start with the two gay guys that abused their two adopted children, and then let you expand on that topic.
There are a lot of gay people out there, homosexuals, even a few gender-confused individuals that are still on a true north compass setting. They have complications that is certainly a psychological and oftentimes a physical state of confusion, and we pray for them and we love them. I have a lot of gay friends. I songwrite with gay guys, and some of my good friends, they like to go duck hunting with me, and they're good shots. So obviously, if you're a good shot in the duck blind and you're gay, you're a great human being. So we're not condemning homosexuality. We're condemning criminal, evil, child molestation, pedophilia. And it's pedophilia. It's not attraction to younger people. They're literally trying to rationalize the indecency, the pure evil atrocity of molesting and sexualizing children. And when these fat, gay, drag queen monsters dress up as exaggerated female prostitutes and crotch twerk children in the town square, even in Waco, Texas, which I promise you will never happen again. But we're turning a blind eye to this stuff. We're turning a blind eye to after-school Satan clubs. Oh, it's just harmless because my daughter really gets a kick out of admiring Satan. These people are scary, brain-dead, soulless, irresponsible, criminal people. And in this example of two gay men being allowed to adopt two boys, and I know of instances where gay couples have adopted children and they've done a fine job, because just because you're heterosexual doesn't guarantee you're going to be good parents. We know that. Everybody knows that heterosexual parents have raised monsters, Jeffrey Dahmer, et cetera, John Wayne Gacy. We could go on and on. But in this instance, we better get a magnifying glass when we scrutinize couples that want to adopt children. And if I were in charge, the scrutiny, the extended period of vetting homosexual couples adopting children, that is not a good environment to raise a child. We need to go back to the Donna Reed show and the Leave It to Beaver, where mom and dad disciplined, guided, nurtured, loved, organized, directed, right over wrong, good over evil, work ethic, the 10 Commandments, the golden rule, being the best that you can be, being honest and having integrity and showing up on time and doing the best work you possibly can. That comes from a nuclear family. Now, does it happen in homosexual settings? I would think so, and I believe so. But unfortunately, there's these kinds of violations that go to the core of pure evil to the most innocent and vulnerable amongst us, young children. It's got to end. And when the Democrat Party actually promotes this indecency, when the left and Disney and Tractor Supply supports drag queen events,
Argyle,
my friends out there, we've got to put an end to this. You've got to raise hell. This is not right. This is Sodom and Gomorrah. We are in the Babylon hellstorm, right, being flushed in the final stages of a toilet that used to be the greatest experiment in self-government and quality of life in the history of the world. We can demand the return. We've got to support Donald Trump. We've got to get rid of these Democrats and even a Joe Manchin and maybe a couple Democrats out there that claim they don't stand for that indecency. Well, you're a member of that party. You can't claim to not be a racist if you're a member of the Klan. If you're not a racist, you can't be a member of the Klan. And if you're not an indecent, evil, treasonous monster, then you can't be a Democrat. How's that?
Powerful. You know, Ted, I read an article recently that said by 2030 or 2035, Christians in America will be the minority. Since COVID, the Christianity's lost members. It used to be people would say they believed in God and went to church at least once a week. That number's plummeted. And again, I just read where Christianity will be in the minority in America. Do you think there's any correlation to this lack of and loss of faith in America and what we're seeing?
There's no question there's a parallel between the abandonment of God, the abandonment of a spirit, of the Native Americans' great spirit, which guided our conscience and our soul and our decision-making to do the right thing. As that faith is abandoned, this is what you get. RuPaul, Al Not So Sharpton, Joe and Hunter Biden, the whole Democrat Party, Disney having these horrible, horrible images and agendas in their movies for children. This really is the devil at play. And we can beat the devil by praying and getting back to God. And I don't know, I'm not a churchgoer, but you know what I do? I get in a tree almost every night, 6 months a year, or in a duck blind, and I pray. I pray that I am the best that I can be and God's humble servant in being a conservationist, a steward of his miraculous creation. And I'm a Christian. I'm a God-loving man. I don't know where the term God-fearing. I don't fear God. I love God. And I think the further we get away, the farther we get away, both physically and spiritually, from faith and God, this is where the RuPauls and the Al Not So Sharptons and the Hunter Biden rule the world. Don't let it happen. Pray and remind your family and your friends and people at work and school and church to pray harder.
Powerful, Ted. Well, tomorrow on the Friday free-for-all edition, I want to talk about the passing of David Crosby, and poor Aretha Franklin and her Natural Woman song is under attack. I want to get your take on those two topics right here tomorrow night on the Nightly Nooch.
My pleasure.